tell you a little bit about our family and about our business. I'll start a little bit with myself. I was born on a farm in Chaseburg, Wisconsin. My dad died when I was 7, and moved to La Crosse, Wisconsin, lived there for a few years. My mother remarried, moved to another farm. And so after 8th grade, my mother thought I should be a minister. So I went to school in Watertown, Wisconsin. My brother was on the track to be a minister. I went there for 2 years, and after 2 years they said, Don, you're not coming back. And so, you know what, the problem was I stuttered from the time I started talking to about 32 years old, so I couldn't say 2 words together. So went back and lived on the farm with my mother and stepfather, and finished high school. After high school, I worked for my stepfather for 5 years, milking cows, and so after my wife got married, we couldn't live on the salary I was getting. I was getting paid $125 a month, and we couldn't live on that with our first child. So I got a job driving a truck for a grocery company called Gateway Foods back in 1956. And so when I got this job driving a truck, I doubled my salary from $125 a month to $67.50 a week. And I thought I died and went to heaven, and now I only work 5.5 days a week. And but sometimes you forget how good you got it sometimes. And moving forward from 1956 to 1958, I came to work that morning, and my day started at 4 o'clock. I had to take a load of groceries and meat. My route that day was from La Crosse to Albert Lea, deliver stores on the way out, and when I got done in Albert Lea, picked up some meat at Wilson Packing Company in Albert Lea, and then went to Austin, picked up some more meat from the Hormel plant in Austin, drove back to La Crosse, and now I had to unload that load of meat. And it was about 9 o'clock. I was tired and crabby, and I was sitting on top of that meat talking to myself, and really, I was really bitching. And for 2 years later, I thought I had the best job in the world, and I thought I was all by myself. And the guy that ran the meat department came out and says, "Zutlow, if you're going to work for a company, work for a company. If you're going to damn the company, then quit, and damn the company all you want." What a change in my attitude that made. I sat down that load of meat, and I said, if I ever own a company, I'm going to share the profits with the coworkers that do all the work. So now, that was in 1958. Continued to drive that truck for another 5 years, and worked in the warehouse and retail, and in 1970 I became president of that company. And so I ran that company from about 1970 to 1989, and it grew and prospered, and had a lot of warehouse, a lot of stores, and so I thought I'd be there forever. But the owner sold the company, and there were 3 of us that had ownership in Kwik Trip, and so I had some grocery stores that he needed to sell the company, and so I traded my interest in those grocery stores for 2/3 interest now in Kwik Trip. And now, 1989, I remember what I said 31 years sooner. If I ever owned a company, I would share the profits with our coworkers. And so I talked to my wife about this, and she thought it was a great idea. And so I had a partner, and I said, if you agree with sharing 40% of the pre-tax profits, we become 50 partners. Now, it didn't make much difference. We weren't making any money in 1989, so 40% of nothing's nothing. But so I left the grocery company then, and came over to Kwik Trip, and brought some of my coworkers from Gateway Foods along, and all of a sudden Kwik Trip started making money, and so pretty soon our coworkers are getting more profit than the family, and that was the goal. So the family that were my 50-50 partner, they said, we can't do this. And so we had an outside board of directors, and they said, one of you should buy the other out, or should sell the company. And I saw a lot of companies being sold, and our family, we had 3 children at the time, and we just didn't want to do that. So we bought our family out, their family out in 2000, and our family became sole owners then in 2000. So that's a little bit about it. I no longer own any part of the company. I haven't for about 10 years. It's in a trust, so the kids can't sell it, the grandkids can't sell it, the great-grandkids can't sell it. So we have 3 children, 14 grandchildren, and 11 great-grandchildren. So I work for them. I'm on a short leash, I think, but that's a little bit about myself and our family, and the 40%, you think it's a gift. It's not. Our coworker, all 35,000 coworkers earn each penny of that. And so in December of each year, we have 35 meetings, and so all 35,000 coworkers come, not to hear me, but to pick up their checks. So that's a good thing. A little bit about our company. We're located in La Crosse, Wisconsin. We have a support center there, and so as we build our stores, we also produce all of our own product. We produce all of our own milk. We produce about 700,000 pounds of milk a day, and what's in the cow today is in the store tomorrow. We make our own ice cream, make a lot of our own bottled water. We have our own bread plant. It's a couple 100,000 square feet. We make about 500,000 loaves of bread a week. Then we have a sweet goods plant that makes all of our donuts and glazers and cookies. And tell you a little bit about the sweet goods plant. Before we had food safety. Now you got to put on the booties and the hairnet and all that. But in our early days, we could just walk in, and I would take a glazer off the line when it was just done baking and with all the coating on top, and then I'd take a bottle of chocolate milk. And I used to be as thin as Miss Wisconsin, let me tell you that. But when you eat these glazers, it's a problem. And now I can't see my toes, but I'll tell you what, those glazers and the chocolate milk was really good. So anyway, and then we have a commissary. We make all of our own soup. Matter of fact, I was talking to a gentleman here today that he and his son put a addition into our soup line. We make bag soup, and we make small containers of soup, and we make all of our own pizzas, make all of our own salads, all of our own cut our veggies, cut our fruit, make all of our sandwiches there, and then we have a dry grocery warehouse, and it has all of our dry groceries, and it also has all of our fruit. And we do sell a lot of fruit. We sell a lot of apples and oranges, and we sell about 1 million pounds of bananas a week. We get our bananas from South America, take ownership in the Gulf Coast, and we bring them up to La Crosse. We can ripen 30 loads of bananas at one time, and so that's a little bit about our support center. Every store gets a delivery every day. So whether they're in St. Croix Falls, or whether they're in Duluth, Minnesota, or it could be Racine, Wisconsin, every store gets a delivery every day. And say, well, how can that do that? You're 200 or 300 miles away. So what we do with the stores like St. Croix Falls, we would have a driver bring it up probably as far as it could be Red Wing, or it could be a little further than that, and then he drops the full load and brings back the empty truck, and then we have a driver that delivers the stores. And so that's a little bit how we operate at Kwik Trip here. And so we try to give a lot of commodities that we can make and be competitive on, like that we make, whether it be milk or bread or bananas, or it could be all of our salads. And so we have a lot of values. And what I talked about before, I want the best possible service that our coworkers can give you. You have a lot of choices, and we want to earn your business, and we want to be a pleasant place for you to come and shop. And by the way, have one of these glazers. You don't have to be as thin as Miss Wisconsin. You could be as fat as Don here. But anyway, that's a little bit about our company, a little bit about our family, and it's the family's responsibility to take this company another 50 years forward, so our coworkers have a place to retire from. So anyway, that's my message today, and thank you guys for everything you do. So I'll turn this thing back to Jeremy. Thank you, Mike.